I'm so glad to have you here. No, I mean, I'm so grateful you let me stay here.
Welcome, timekeepers. Today, I will be sharing on my insights regarding Fatutu. She is the first Mineral Afflatus 6-star healer introduced after so long. Of course, a lot of players are excited for her kit. Overall, Fatutu is more than just healer. She has high healing rate, able to give extra action which can charge characters like 37's Eureka. She can also share and mitigate damage received to the team. There's more to her kit too. She can dispel debuffs from all allies too, and that only costs normal incantation as compared to characters like Tooth Fairy whose debuff ability locks in her ultimate. With her kit like this, she is very versatile to fit any team comps. Then again, all these are theoretically good. How does she fares in real gameplay? As usual, I will break down her skill, build, and we will dive into gameplay. Skill 1: Unmendable Cracks. Single target attack that deals 120% mental damage up to 300% mental damage and applies 3 spirit shells at all ranks. This skill also dispels 1 random debuff from all allies at all ranks. Fatutu's kit revolves around throwing shells on enemies and retrieving her shells back. She heals all allies whenever she retrieves her shells. Spirit Shell on enemies will cause them to take 5% extra damage and 5% extra crit damage only from extra action. So, characters like Jay, Anjo Nala, 37, Jo Nyang, Flutter Page will benefit from this. I know there are some of you guys wonder, what if Fatutu missed the attack in situation where the enemy has invulnerability or some form of protection? The Cleanse ability will always be activated regardless whether Fatutu's skill hits or miss as long as you use skill 1. Spirit Shell will also land on enemies even if the attack is a miss. Watch Fatutu uses skill 1 to apply Spirit Shell on enemies. Damage multiplier from skill 1 Unmendable Cracks is quite decent too. Skill 2, Ocean in the Shell. AoE buff for all allies, applying 3 stacks of shared shells, shared fate up to maximum 8 stacks at rank 3. Fatutu also retrieves all spirit shells. When getting attacked, will consume 1 shared shells and redistribute the damage among all allies. So, how this skill works is that, first system will calculate the percent of health among all allies. For example, 72% is the average health, so it will consume 1 shared shell stack and redistribute the health of the ally that got hit to 72% health. Cacania also has similar skill mitigation as well and often been made as comparison to Fatutu. However, Cacania damage mitigation is being carried to herself instead. I feel that Fatutu's skill 2 is very critical and game-changing because, in situation where one of your hyper carry is dying, you can escape death easily, relieving the stress and burden. Ultimate skill, Proverb of the Sea. Single target attack that deals 700% mental damage and applies all spirit shells on Fatutu to enemy and inflicts 2 stacks of shell beacon for 2 turns. As long as Shell Beacon's debuff is on enemy, the amount of Spirit Shell recovered will be deployed back immediately on the enemy. This ultimate has good synergy with her Insight passive, making Fatutu able to cycle her ultimate quite frequently too. I will explain in detail how so in Insight section. Insight 1. The core mechanics to Fatutu is bouncing the Spirit Shells between her and enemies. When entering battle, Fatutu gains a total of 12 Spirit Shells. 8 Spirit Shells from Insight 1 and 4 more from Insight 3 unlocked. Fatutu has 20% chance to gain 1 Moxie whenever she applies Spirit Shells. The healing rate of Spirit Shells when bounced back to Fatutu based on the amount of Spirit Shells received multiply by 30% of her attack. After enemy is attacked, it will always bounce 1 Spirit Shell stack back to Fatutu. Whether it is extra action attack or not, it will trigger this rule. Another point that I want to mention is that, if any allies dodged an attack from enemy, skill 2 buff will not trigger the damage mitigation effect and will not bounce any Spirit Shell. If Fatutu dies and leaves the battlefield, all Spirit Shell on enemy will disappear immediately and will not trigger any healing. Insight 2 increases base attack by extra 5%. Insight 3 is interesting. After bouncing the 7 Spirit Shells, she will perform extra action rank 1 first skill Unmendable Cracks on enemy with the most Spirit Shells. If there are total of 14 actions including extra action taken, The probability of gaining Moxie is 20% per action. You will get around 4 Moxies. So you can actually maintain the ultimate shell beacon debuff almost at all times if you are using characters with extra action comp. You will want to use skill 1 more often than skill 2 unless you need urgent damage mitigation and healing immediately or to stack more shells. To be cost effective, for those pulling for more copies, I recommend priority getting 2 copies at least to maximize efficiency. 1 copy is fine too. The order of unlocking her portrays would be in terms priority like this. Portray 2 unlock will increase frequency of Fatutu extra action and dealing a little more damage since the number of spirit shells needed to bounce around reduced to 5 to cast skill 1 unmendable cracks. Personally, this resonance build has good balance of attack, crit rate, and tankiness. As for her FM, I prefer to use this personally. Best Psycube of choice will always be her own Psycube cracks in the shell. This Psycubes pumps her healing during extra action and increases allies' crit damage for 3 rounds up to 12 stacks. If you cannot afford her own Psycube. Alternatively, that Inquisitive Deer is a good Psycube for Fatutu too. You can proc it whenever Fatutu uses skill 1, Umendable Crack. As for the team comp, you can go for characters with extra action. For hyper carry, you can consider Anjo Nala, High Portray 37 or Joan Yang. Sub DPS will be Flutter Page and Damage Amplifier can put Lopera or alternatively Mercuria. If you do not have any of these, she can just fit into any comp too provided one of them can utilize extra action to charge Fatutu's Spirit Shell.
Embrace rather than resist. To the left.
This cross should do.
Loading.
Another jar?
Regaining control of our bodies.
Oh, be careful!
Easy, poor thing.
Barrage.
Easy, poor thing.
Let's get it over quick!
Ciao, amore! Police is numbered. I'll carve it on your face.
Got you!
Interessante, interessante! Interessante,
You are not
interessante!
Charging.
Oh look, here's another one!
Loading.
It's newly made this year!
The light that illuminates all. Target confirmed.
Interessante, interessante! Easy, poor thing.
Enough! Oh, be careful!
Prego!
I said go away! You are not welcome here!
Charging. Loading.
Another jar? It's newly made this year!
Faraday's Miracle. Aim and shoot.
There they are! You don't want to miss it! It's wrong! Enough!
Don't worry, you won't cry soon!
Got you!
To the right.
This cross should do. Another jar?
To the left. This'll help.
Let's get it over quick.
Look,
Easy, poor thing.
take a deep breath.
Oh, be careful.
Go to hell! Prego!
You want me
By
to?
cupping the moon in the
Circuits
palm.
functioning properly.
We'll find our home one day.
I am the waves in the ocean and the stars in the sky.
I, Robot, child of science.
Easy, poor thing.
I'll fill the cup for you. Fatutu increases Zhonyang crit damage a lot, and I paired with Mercuria to increase the crit rate and damage too. What's my final verdict in Fatutu? I would say she is a must-pull. Mainly because she has high versatility. And we lacking good mineral afflatus healer. I find it easier to fight against high damage monsters or bosses, especially against Euphoria stage bosses. Are you all gonna pull for her or not? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching and see you guys real soon.